talking about good news, we're moving straight off from that right back to bad news. But we have to give you guys a little break before we get to this bad news, you know?
Give you guys a little bit of a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, you know, every single time people watch this, they go, man, this has been such an emotional ride. It's up, it's down, I don't know how to feel. But okay, so apparently the creator or the guy that started the whole stop killing games movement is now being attacked relentlessly. Rurikon, what is happening?
So there was an anonymous report that was made to, I don't know, the people that are responsible for handling these types of initiatives or something. And basically this anonymous report was saying that there have been false declarations in the Stop Killing Games initiative. And the false declaration is the no funding declaration because they've declared that they've received no actual funding. So the Stop Killing Games didn't receive funding from anyone, like not significant amount of funding. And this anonymous report that these people have filed with the European Commission is basically saying that this is false. There has been funding to the initiative. And they say here, you know, they go into the details. I'm looking at the documents because this is Ross showed this stuff. And then they say that the initiative has been systematically concealing a major contribution. And now you might be asking yourself, well, what exactly is this major contribution that they've been hiding? Well, the contribution is Ross's work. So Ross from Accursed Farms, who is someone who has been, you know, promoting the campaign, he can't actually participate in the campaign because he is not a European citizen. The same way that Acolyne can participate in the campaign, but I can because I'm in Europe. I get to participate. I get to, you know, do whatever I want with it. But so, you know, Ross can't actually participate in the campaign, but their argument is that Ross's unpaid work is a contribution to the campaign, a financial contribution. Apparently in some interviews, Ross has mentioned that there have been weeks where he has spent from 12 to 14 hours a day promoting the campaign and like doing work for the campaign, right? And so because he said this, these people said, okay, so he's saying that for many weeks he's done 12 to 14 hours a day. On a conservative estimates, they say 15 to 20 weeks at high intensity. So he says, for starters, he says, on several weeks I've been doing this for 12 to 14 hours a day. And to them, several weeks is 15 to 20, which is almost half a year.
Yeah.
Okay. And so they're like, conservative estimate, 15 to 20 weeks at high intensity. That is 1,260 to 1,960 hours of work. And then he says, regular campaign work, additional ongoing daily campaign management throughout 12-month period. Professional rate. They then give Ross a professional rate. Okay. Professional rate of 50 to 75 euros an hour.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Which let me just tell you, okay? YouTubers with a channel the size of Ross's channel, Accursed Farms, 90% of us, we ain't making $50 to $75 an hour. Okay, brother, that's the
$75. $75 an hour is a lot of money.
Euros, not even dollars, euros. It's even more.
Yeah, so you're effectively talking about what? 700, let's just make it a 10-hour day.
Crazy.
That's $750 or euros a day.
So they're saying that like this would be his hourly rate for his campaign management and advocacy services at market rate. And that gives you a minimum estimated value of $63,000 to $147,000 in professional contributions towards the campaign. Which, by the way, this is all absolute horseshit.
It's nonsense.
But it does show you that they are scared.
Yeah, they're panicking.
Whoever made this anonymous report, they're scared of what the initiative is been able to accomplish so far.
Yeah.
And so they're going after Ross, who is one of the biggest voices promoting the initiative. So this to me is almost meant like a scare tactic. It's like, distance yourself from the campaign, you motherfucker. You've been giving them all of this. It's like, fuck you. Because the campaign did reach 1.4 million signatures, which is not only the 1 million required for this to be looked at by the European Parliament, but also 400,000 bonus signatures, which they called like overdrive or whatever, which pretty much ensures that you have a 400,000 buffer for all the signatures that may potentially be discarded because they might have been botted or because they're not European citizens or whatever reason that there might be. You know, there's going to be some fake signatures in there. Of course there are, because just the size that this whole thing reached.
Yeah.
So they're going after Ross because Ross is kind of like the one who's been rallying the troops. I think that it's, it's completely undeniable that he's been the one rallying the troops. The thing is, he can't even be a part of the initiative. He's just somebody who's doing promoting.
The hard work.
That's it.
He's doing the work of promoting.
Yeah.
Which is not a financial contribution. But
here's the thing. In order to do these types of campaigns, there actually are like conditions that say who is considered a sponsor. And so they very clearly outline here. Sponsors are people or organization providing financial support over 500 euros. Legal persons or organizations providing other economically quantifiable in-kind donations or non-economically qualifiable support to an initiative are also considered sponsors. And now here comes the big one. Individuals providing non-financial support, such as volunteering, are not considered sponsors under the ECI regulation and do not need to be reported. So therefore, Ross, in the quality of the work that he is doing, is basically a volunteer providing non-financial support. So all of this bullshit paperwork that you fucking imbeciles have just, supplied to the Europe, whatever organization is handling this, is worthless, baseless, and almost libel. Okay, because they say that this declaration appears fundamentally incorrect. So, because if they didn't say that it appears, if they were actually saying this declaration is fundamentally incorrect, that would be downright libel, and they could be open to getting sued, which is also why they filed it anonymously. Which just, if you think about it, this comes very close to the statement that Video Games Europe has made on the Stop Killing Games initiative, which, if you remember, they go on to say, "We appreciate the passion of our community. However, the decision to discontinue online services is multifaceted, never taken lightly, and must be an option for companies when an online experience is no longer commercially viable. We understand it can be disappointing for players when it does happen, but the industry ensures that players are given fair notice of the prospective changes in compliance with local consumer protection laws. Private servers are not always a viable alternative option for players, as the protections we put in place bullshit to secure players' data, to sell players' data, remove illegal content, and combat unsafe community content would not exist and would leave rights holders liable. In addition, many titles are designed from the ground up to be online only. In effect, these proposals would curtail developer choice by making these video games prohibitively expensive to create. We welcome the opportunity to discuss our position with policymakers and those who have led the European Citizens Initiative in the coming months." You remember this for sure. I think you even reported on this. And then they also had like a big ass document where they go into more detail and spread a bunch of more absolute asinine fake bullshit in their thing. So considering how close this is to them filing something against Ross in EU, it should tell you that it's basically Video Games Europe. The anonymous, we found the anonymous source, guys. It's Video Games Europe, the lobbying group that doesn't want this initiative to succeed. Shut the fuck up, you assholes. You got nothing. You got fuck all on Ross, and you're gonna get fucked by by the Stop Killing Games.
I personally hope
you will comply or you will be removed.
I really hope that they do get screwed over, because this is nonsense.
Yeah, dude.
Right? And I do think the gaming industry is genuinely afraid.
It's straight up. It's frivolous. It's straight up frivolous. Let's call it what it is. It's that simple. It's frivolous.
The whole games as a service is bullshit. Because if it is a service, if I cannot own that game, then piracy, and I know this is a meme, but if I cannot own the game, then piracy isn't a crime. Because it's not a product to be owned. So I'm not stealing anything. I couldn't own it in the first place. So I'm allowed to pirate it, right? But of course, if you did pirate it, that would be considered a crime. So clearly it is property. I just can't own the property.
The thing to me is always like, look, there are games that you can consider to be games as a service. Absolutely. Like, look at an MMORPG. What is that? That's games as a service. Sure, fine, whatever. But here's the thing. When that game dies, give me a server.
Yeah, but I would actually
you don't have to support the game forever. Just the game's dying. Okay, and when I say give me a server, I think that a lot of people don't understand. It's like, I don't want a physical server. I don't want a computer.
Give me access to a server. The ability to create my own server.
Exactly. Give me the software to create my own server, which, by the way, they have, because they need to test locally for stuff on their, on a testing environment. So they have these servers already made. Yeah. Like the amount of effort required, like for instance with the crew, the amount of effort required to provide players like, oh, here's a local server, and here's the file that you need to change to make it work, or we'll even patch it in so that you can just put in your local IP or whatever. And here you go, and the game will work forever. Yeah. Like, boom, done. Problem solved. Shit, they could bake that into the game itself. They could just be like, you start the game, it boots up the local server, it instantly connects to the local server. Boom. You don't even have to change almost anything about the game. But they're not willing to do the bare fucking minimum, so fuck them. I don't care.
I just quickly want to say, just as a last sort of, I've had some time to think about this, and I've changed my position. I no longer believe MMOs is a game as a service. It is a physical game that you can own. The access to the game might be a service, because the servers that they supply, that is the service part of it. But the game itself, that's a physical game. I can own that game. I cannot play the game on the official servers unless I pay for the service, right? So that means, yes, while the game is in full creation or in full operational mode, I pay for the service access so that I can play the game on the official servers. The second the official servers go down, the game still technically exists. I have it on my PC. A lot of it is hosted locally. I should be allowed to just get a new server and play the game on this other server. Because the service portion has not died, right? The service portion is now dead. It's no longer there.
This is why they are now taking things one step further. And I don't know if you're aware, but like, for instance, the crew, if you own the crew, when they revoked your license, they straight up deleted this shit from your computer. Non-consensually, by the way.
Yes, it is. They
straight up they went to the app and they were like, marked for deletion, goodbye.
We need,
at least on the Ubisoft app.
Ubisoft.
I don't know if they were able to do it on.
I don't think they'll be able to do it on Steam,
I don't own the crew.
Gabe Newell wouldn't.
You are able to remove shit on. I can confirm this.
No, you can.
I've had shit. So to give you an idea, I had access to Expedition 33's demo or whatever it was. They had a demo before the game came out.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to play it because I didn't have enough time. But when the license when that demo expired, that shit got removed from my. I didn't ask for it to be. It was just uninstalled.
Yeah, but I think there's.
Yeah, we're taking that away. Boom, gone, done.
But I do think
so. They can totally do that.
Yeah, but I do think demos are a little different to normal games. I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong, but I do think there is a difference between actual games from Steam side and demos, because I think demos do only get registered for a certain period of time before they get self-deleted anyways. But I'm speaking under
that was the first time.
I could be completely wrong.
That was the first time I've ever seen anything get removed from my Steam library without me taking action.
Dude, how I know?
Like, it was straight up removed from the, like, I didn't even get to do anything. I got like a pop-up saying, by the way, this thing expired. We're removing it now. It's like, well,
so I know for a fact.
Do I got a say in this? It's like, no, we're removing it. Once you hit OK, this thing's gone.
I know for a fact I have a game on my PC that you can no longer buy on Steam. It no longer exists. It's in my library. It's gone. But it's still there, right? even though the company has closed down, or at least they've never spoken again since I think like 4 years ago when they made the last post, and then everything just disappeared. So that has been the case, but I don't know, man. At this point, the AAA has so much power and they wield so much influence that they could probably force it down. And they're such scumbags that they probably will try and force it through at some point, which is just annoying.